Here's an uncomfortable truth I've seen over and over again, both in my patients and in my own life. People don't underestimate alcohol's impact in their lives. No, they profoundly underestimate it. The folks who are sipping a few nights a week are often the ones who underestimate it the most because they think, I'm not a heavy drinker, I can't have a problem. I used to think that same thing. For years, I drank some wine after work every night, and I thought nothing of it. It was routine. It was normal. The irony is, at work, patients would describe their drinking to me, and although it was identical to mine, I would then tell them that they may be developing a problem with alcohol. I'm Dr. Donald Crowe, and I practiced medicine for 40 years, and now I've been sober for the last 27. In this video, I will discuss how alcohol really affects its users, beyond blinding them to its true impact, as it did with me for decades. So this video is the reality check most people never get. What alcohol is really doing to your body when you drink it consistently, even in small amounts. Number one, alcohol hijacks your brain long before you feel anything. People drink alcohol to change how they feel. This is why they grab a cold beer instead of a glass of lemonade. This may not be a conscious thought, but if a drinker can be honest with himself, then this simple truth becomes apparent. People rarely drink because they feel terrific. They drink because they feel anxious, stressed, bored, drained. And ironically, people who are feeling good and celebrating often drink with the hope of changing that good feeling into an even better one. And they drink because it works. And it works because it hits two brain systems fast. First, the brain's GABA system, which slows the brain and reduces anxiety. This is the chemical equivalent of telling yourself to settle down. It's the brake pedal on your nervous system. And the dopamine system. When alcohol stimulates it, it gives sensations of pleasure, reward. This is your internal scoreboard lighting up and saying, yeah, give me more of that feeling. And listen, dopamine is powerful. The brain doesn't just enjoy dopamine, it remembers where it came from and pushes you back toward it. If you've ever had a drink after a long day and felt the little drop in your shoulders and that softening of the worries of the day, that was GABA and dopamine doing their job. But here's the catch. You're paying for those chemicals long after that good feeling fades. This is the part nobody tells you until you're neck deep in the consequences. Number two, as you relax, the brain you need goes offline. Alcohol doesn't give you anything. It takes something. The more you drink, the more it begins shutting down the systems that keep you sharp, balanced, and in control. Like your frontal cortex, which is the seat of judgment, restraint, and decision-making. This is the part of your brain which causes you to ask, what was I thinking? Well, you weren't, because alcohol literally pulls the plug on your executive function. Alcohol also affects the hypothalamus, which is your brain's center for performance, drive, and sexual function. This is why physical performance tanks after a few drinks. This is why libido drops. This is why even simple tasks feel heavier than they should. And finally, your cerebellum, and this is the center for balance and coordination. And if you've ever seen someone walk after just a couple beers, you've watched the cerebellum clock out early. The takeaway here is simple. Alcohol doesn't just change how you feel. It suppresses who you are. Number three, alcohol has no useful pathway through the body. Your body is designed to use proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. It knows exactly what to do with those. Alcohol? Nope. No pathway, no function, no upside. Your body treats it the same way it treats cleaning chemicals or pesticides or solvents, anything that shouldn't be in the bloodstream. Alcohol gets flagged as a toxin instantly, not metaphorically, biochemically. And there's only one organ in your body with the responsibility to deal with it, the liver. And this is where the real damage starts. Number four, alcohol forces the liver to abandon its actual job. When alcohol enters the bloodstream, the liver stops doing almost everything else on its to-do list so it can handle the toxin. Your liver is a complicated and very busy organ organizing the metabolism of our body. Put alcohol in the mix and everything shuts down, and the result is metabolic chaos. Once alcohol is on board, the liver cannot produce healthy cholesterol. It cannot recycle cholesterol or process triglycerides normally. And that cascade leads to rising triglycerides, rising blood sugar, fatty liver, chronic inflammation, and hormonal disruption. And here's the kicker. You don't feel any of this happening until it's been damaging you for years. It's silent metabolic sabotage. Number 5, fat burning completely stops the moment alcohol arrives. This is the one that floors people. If alcohol is in your system, even a little, your ability to burn fat slows to a crawl. Sometimes it stops entirely. Why? Because the liver shifts to full-time detox mode. Fat metabolism is considered non-essential in that moment, and so it goes on hold. So picture this. You're working hard to get in shape. You're eating clean. You're working out. You're doing the right things. But 2 drinks on a Friday night, and all that is undone for the next 48 to 72 hours. For a lot of people, alcohol is the missing piece they never even thought to remove. And number 6, sugary mixers turn a bad situation into a worse one. Most people don't just drink alcohol. They drink alcohol plus juice, soda, energy drinks, syrups, sweet cocktails. Now, the body isn't just processing a toxin, it's trying to handle a massive sugar surge at the same time. And this leads to rapid spikes in insulin, fat storage, blood sugar volatility, and more inflammation. And here's the thing, even clean drinks like tequila neat or bourbon straight don't escape the metabolic chaos caused by the alcohol itself. The mixers, they just add gasoline to the fire. Number 7, the "I don't drink that much" trap. This is the one that hits home for a lot of people. Most people who drink moderately, 2 or 3 nights a week, think they're in the safe zone. They may even quote the now thoroughly discredited science of a few decades ago, which stated that alcohol was somehow healthy. We now know that there is no safe amount of alcohol to drink. Even small amounts result in physiologic consequences such as poor sleep architecture, chronic cortisol elevation, lower growth hormone, lower testosterone, increased visceral fat, increased insulin resistance, increased anxiety and irritability, plus low energy, blunted motivation, and slower recovery. And because these things happen gradually, people don't connect the dots. Alcohol doesn't wreck you in a single moment. It erodes you over time. So here's the question I finally had to ask myself, and I now ask my patients every week. What am I trading for those drinks? Better sleep, better sex, better strength, better energy, better mental clarity, better mood, less fat, less inflammation, more freedom. Once you take alcohol out of the body, even for a few weeks, you start to understand the full cost. Almost everyone I've worked with has said some variation of, "I had no idea how much this was affecting me." And they're not exaggerating. The gap between what alcohol does and what people think alcohol does is massive. So I'll put a challenge out there. Take alcohol out of your equation for 30 days. Not forever, just 30 days. And watch what happens. Feel it, measure it. Track your sleep, track your mood, track your libido, track your waistline. And you'll see it. You weren't underestimating alcohol's impact by a little. You were underestimating it by a mile. At least if you decide to go back to drinking, you'll do so knowing alcohol's true cost. And if you do decide to take a longer break from alcohol, remember, giving up alcohol does not mean giving up anything real. It means opening the door to the life you deserve. Oh, and if you find quitting is harder than you think, check out this video where I describe the biochemistry and physiology you may be up against, because knowledge is power. If you found this video useful, please subscribe to Second Act Sobriety, give us a like, and comment below. I read every comment and will respond. Until the next time, I'm Dr. Donald Crowe.